When we're talking about recent horror films, and I'm talking about within the past like 10 years, you cannot think about horror without thinking of A24. A24 has really led the way for some really interesting and terrifying movies to come forward and get the attention that they deserve. But there have been so many A24 movies that I feel like deserve the attention that like Midsommar and Hereditary get that just didn't. And I want to bring one of those to your attention today because if you haven't seen it, you need to see it. And the reason I remembered this movie, because I watched it years ago and kind of like have it in the back of my mind. I remembered it because A24's most recent film, The Front Room, kind of reminded me of it in a weird way. You'll get it if you've seen them both. But I was like, you know what? I need to highlight this movie on this week's Hidden Gem Horror because it's one that you should see if you like A24 films. And that is Saint Maud. Saint Maud is a wild ride of a movie, okay? And that is putting it so gently, so lightly. So this film follows a very traumatized woman who becomes a nurse. And all of the trauma that she has endured has kind of pushed her into Christianity. And she's really leaned into that faith for support and for a crutch and things like that. And she's really kind of enveloped herself into it. So she gets assigned a patient. And this patient is currently dying from cancer, literally at the end of the fight. And this nurse makes it her entire life's mission to save her soul from damnation because she thinks this woman is going to go to hell and she's trying to get her to convert to Christianity. Now, if you're wanting a jump scare type of movie, this is not the one, except for that last scene. That last scene, you will never forget about it, and I'm going to talk about it at the end, so I'll let you know in case you haven't seen it so you don't get it spoiled. But this is not a jump scary movie. It is a very low vibrational, just kind of like gut churning movie. It's difficult to watch in some parts. It's just strange. It's such a strange movie, but it's such a beautiful movie. I love it. I wish it got the hype that these other ones are getting. There's so many A24s that just like slide under the radar, and I'm like, I know Hereditary was good. It's probably one of my favorite A24s, but there's so many others. The imagery in this film is absolutely stunning, haunting, and then downright horrifying at the end. I just think this is one you should watch. I don't know if it's streaming anywhere. I know when I watched it a few years ago, it was on Hulu. I don't know if it's still there now, but it's worth the rent. It's worth watching it any way you can. It is such a good movie. And the comparison that I made with The Front Room was this movie reminds me... Okay, so The Front Room, if you don't know, follows a pregnant woman who has to move her husband's stepmother into their house because they're getting a lot of money from the dad's will that just passed. Yeah, it's a whole thing. But the stepmom is very strange. She's very religious, but she's religious to the extent of she fully believes that the Holy Spirit possesses her and gives her power. It's not really a jump scary movie either. It's really low vibrational, but it reminded me of like Saint Maud and Monster-in-Law were the two vibes I was getting from that movie. It was a really fun watch. Like I said, not really scary in the sense, but it was really fun to watch. So also watch that one if you haven't. I think it's in theaters still right now. I just saw it this past week. But yeah, Saint Maud. Let's talk about that ending scene. At the end, she lights herself on fire, right? In a field. And it's like this beautiful thing. Like it's like she's transcending, right? And it goes on for a second. And she's just burning, and it's fine, it's whatever. And then the very last scene, the music drops, and it shows her actually burning. And you hear the fire crackling, and she's screaming, and you see her skin melting. It's for a split second. But when I tell you that scene has haunted me ever since I watched it. If I think of the movie Saint Maud, I'm thinking about that scene. Like, whenever I decided I wanted to do this, because I didn't really want to rewatch it, it's not one that's an easy rewatch. And I didn't want to rewatch it. And I was trying to rack my brain. I was reading the synopsis, trying to like bring back that information. And all I could think about was that last freaking scene of just her screaming and her skin burning. It's literally a split second, but it's so traumatic. Please let me know your favorite A24, comment it below, and I'll let you know if I've watched it or not, if I liked it, or if it's on my list. But that is all for today, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.